Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. This is something I hear a lot about regarding ethics in life and what makes a good person. And it's something that just grates on me real hard. And I'm like, all right, we're done. We got to sit down and have a talk. For everything, there is a season, a time to live, a time to die, a time to laugh, a time to cry. This concept that you have to be generous, that you have to be good, that you have to be kind, that you have to give, that you have to be grateful, that you have to be humble. All of these things are wrong because all of these things have failed the ethic of moderation. I want you to really sit with that for a while. Every time you force yourself to gorge and glutton yourself on, you got to be kind, you've got to be good, you've got to be generous, you've got to be nice, there is a time to be selfish. There is a time to be arrogant. There is a time to be mean. There is a time to be sad. There is a time to be greedy. And one of the things I learned when I walked through the ethics was very much the understanding that the emotions are always right. Now, being selfish does not mean hurting other people. Being greedy does not mean hurting other people. And this is really, really what needs to be focused on. There is a book called Not Nice by Dr. Aziz Gazapura, and he defines mean in that book. When I say you have to be mean, I'm referring to that book and the definition in that book. Mean does not mean you've hurt other people. It means that you've asserted yourself to take care of you. And this concept that you've got to be generous all the time is absolutely unethical because you have avoided the lesson of integration and moderation. The forced indulgence of moderation is unethical because you are avoiding indulgence and avoidance. To practice moderation is to indulge and then integrate and then indulge and then indulge and then integrate. And if you are not passing through this learning cycle, that is the learning cycle, then you are not learning. Indulge on A, indulge on B, and then integrate A with B. To indulge on C, indulge on D, to integrate A and B and C and D. To integrate E, to integrate F over and over again. If you are not moving through the passage of time, through indulge, avoid, and integrate, then you are not learning. Black and white thinking is being stuck in one of the indulgences to avoid one of the avoidances to prevent the integration of both. So the idea of constantly gorging yourself, I got to be nice, 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 I got to be nice. That is unethical. You have to be selfish sometimes. So says Mother Nature. You have to be assertive sometimes. And your emotions will tell you. Guilt is the most toxic emotion there is. It's not even yours. Guilt is the emotion of disobedience. It is the emotion of, how dare you not be an obedient slave? It is absolutely a result of the forbidden fruit paradox, which compromises your own authority. A lot of people are waiting for permission to use their authority. Logic. If you are waiting for permission to use your authority, then you have missed the point. If you need somebody to give you permission to use your authority, well, that's illogical and it's never going to happen. In order to have authority, you have to take authority. No one can give it to you. Authority is something that sits there off in the distance for each and every one of us. And either you take it or you don't. And it's overcoming the fear of the forbidden fruit paradox, of you taking your authority. And if people tell you, you can't have that, your authority is standing there and looking down at them and saying, oh, yes, I can, watch me. And you take it anyway. That's authority. Authority is not power that gets passed around by the smartest, the wisest, the most tall, or the most beautiful, or the most educated. That's not at all how physics works. And authority, the concept of authority, waiting for somebody to authorize you to use your own authority, a lot of people are stuck there. Because in their minds, they're thinking, well, I can't have authority. I haven't been authorized yet. No one's going to authorize you for authority. People confuse expert with authority. And the problem always rests with the comprehension of what authority truly is. More and more, the more I get into the ethics and the more I look at what they are and what they encompass, the more I just look at authority. And it is truly the crux of our culture. It is really, truly the downfall of our culture, that this concept of what authority really is has been so contaminated with false authorities that people don't even understand what it is, that they confuse expert with authority. And no one really, truly does understand what authority means. Author of one's life is authorized with authenticity to be in authority over their own life. Authority is being the author of your life. And when you pass authority to somebody else, you are actually passing the pen of your own life over to somebody else. But it's your life. Authorship, authority. It's mandatory to really take a step back. Being an author is one of the things in life where you learn real quickly, either you're good at it or you're not. And by good at it, I mean, you've got to figure out where your story is going to go. There is no one who's going to decide that for you. You have to decide it. Who are your characters going to be? What are you going to do with your characters? Where are they going? If you do not make these choices, then you go nowhere. You're not an author. And that's really what authority is. Are you the author of your life or aren't you? And that's all it is. Authorship of one's life. So when you think of it now as an authorship, because that's what it is, when you talk about authenticity, you're talking about whether or not you are authoring your own life. Because either you're an author or you're copying somebody else's ghost writing. Is somebody doing the writing for you, or are you doing the writing for you? And if you're not authoring your own life, you're not living. And that's really what authority is. Authority has nothing to do with power. Authority has to do with responsibility. It has to do with stepping up and claiming the authority of your life and being the author. Being held accountable at the fifth ethic, completely different topic. But if you won't even choose to step out of your own door, if people in a position of authority actually knew anything about authority, then they would do the ethical thing. They would put down their titles and degrees, and they would completely abolish the word authority. They would 100% turn it over to those where it belongs, and they would teach this. Everyone who stands in a position of authority, who claims to be in authority on something, has absolutely no idea what authority really is. And if they do, they are really abusively malicious. Self-authority is the only authorship that actually exists. Everything else is a delusion. The only authority that can exist is self-authority, because only the self can write their own story. And that is truly what authority really is. You authoring your own story authentically. Thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.